This is Will's Band of the Week for February 26th, 2017. Hello, and welcome to another edition of Will's Band of the Week. This is Will, along with Grant, live in studio.
Hello.
And again, we just go with the flow. Up to 2 hours ago, we thought we were going to do a completely different podcast, but really nobody can throw us off. They try to. They try to throw us off our game. Just can't be done, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we didn't have a complete Grant's Underground. We have kind of a Will and Grant's recommended music of the week, something like that.
I'd say that's accurate.
It's a boring title, though. It's not catchy.
We can come up with something really flashy.
I guess that's
before this comes out.
We don't need to be catchy or anything because, we're just us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fits with our brand to be not super catchy, but just a little bit charming.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it's free. We're going back to the there was this thing called God, what would they call that? Not free form, but there were these FM radio stations back in the 70s, and they had looser formats where were supposed to be kind of informal, and they could kind of play whatever they wanted. And that I think that morphed into this genre called AOR, album oriented rock, and that was like a categorization of a radio station.
That's interesting.
An AOR station. Yeah.
I always thought rock was already sort of album-oriented rock.
Yeah, I'm not sure why.
A lot of other genres.
Well, I think probably what that meant was they weren't just playing the singles, right? So you had the top 40 stations. Again, that's
They play a whole album or
No.
segments of an album or something?
Well, here's how it worked. You would have the top 40 stations that would play, literally those 40 songs just over and over again in rotation, right? So they would never play more than one song off of an album, except when that officially, if the next song got officially released as a single, then that would go in the rotation, right? But if you're album-oriented rock, you could be totally radical and play 3 different tracks from the album and have them in your rotation. They would never go beyond 3 tracks, but it would be delving into the album a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that fits my listening style better than radio does a lot of the time. At least what I'm used to. Yeah, well,
radio now is not even worth turning on. But
yeah, but even just the playlist format, I find myself drawn to 3 songs or half of an album more often than just one song or entire album.
Right, and when we do this on the podcast, we usually choose 3 songs, maybe sometimes 4, to give an example of the album. So I guess if I started a radio station, if radio came back, that's probably the type of format. I'd have a whole bunch of albums, of course, that I'd play music from, but I'd probably have the highlighted tracks, right?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But every once in a while, I'd go for the deep cut.
Yeah.
The one that's never been played before on the station.
Crazy stuff.
Right. Mm-hmm. Just completely radical. Just off the charts. Because I'm kind of cutting edge in that way.
Shock the listeners.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this week, we're just going to throw a bunch of music at you because I kind of want to get this opportunity because, we had some things lined up and we're going to talk about them next week. And but I've got stuff. I've got stuff to talk about. So I think we'll start with Brandon Can't Dance. This is one of those bedroom pop guys, I'm going to call him, right? Maybe not pop, but he's a bedroom guy.
Bedroom artist.
Yeah. And we saw him open for Alex G. I think he's a friend or knows Alex G from Philadelphia. Mm-hmm. And he recorded this album. I think my impression is it's just all him, but it has a really good variety, and I think he's a really talented guy. And so for the solo artist in the bedroom genre, I think this is a really good album. It's called Graveyard of Good Times. So Let's start with a catchy track called Smoke and Drive Around.
Somebody, the world can't hold me down. Dance with somebody, smoke and drive around. Dance with somebody, the world can't hold me down. Dance with somebody, smoke and drive around. Drinking outside behind the church, drunk and high. Jesus Christ, I find my friends 2 a.m. Where's my ride? Dance with somebody, the world can't hold me down. Dance with somebody, smoke and drive around. Dance with somebody, the world can't hold me down. Dance with somebody, smoke and drive around. Parties tonight, drinking outside behind the church, drunk and high. Jesus Christ, I find my...
That's Brandon Can't Dance. I'm not sure why, but that just sounded really good just now to me. I think the volume and the headphones I'm using. But it's the recording is really good for a guy, just
totally.
a guy.
I was thinking, listening to that he doesn't actually have that many, doesn't seem like he has a ton of tracks or a ton of different instruments going at once, but the sound of each one is really, really sits nicely in the mix. Just, well-made bedroom artist music for sure.
Yeah, and this is 16 tracks and 44 minutes long. So it's sort of hard for me to give a representative sample, but my sample is going to show you some of the variety, because one thing you can do when you're a bedroom artist is you can just do whatever you want, right? So you don't have to say, okay, I'm a synth guy, or I'm a guitar guy, or I'm electric, acoustic, whatever. So he kind of goes all over the place and pretty consistently good. So here's one called Angelina.
Tries to fix her head. She don't know why she don't leave her bed. Fear no trust. Down pretty girl by the window, stained glass smoking again. Angelina's on the bloodstained bed. Sipping chamomile and lit incense.
Brandon Can't Dance.
Alex G.
That was Alex G. like, wasn't it?
Yeah, that'd be the most obvious comparison. But there's something dirtier about that, the recording and the song itself, that I think is cool.
Right. One thing he's able to do pretty well is he can sing in a regular register, or he's got a really good falsetto, too, that works. So that's cool. All right, one more. This is called The World is Broken. There you go, Brandon Can't Dance.
I really like that track, and made me think of the Strokes, because he covered the Strokes with Alex G, which is cool. But also this band, I guess it's like one guy named Ray, if I'm remembering that right. But I think we talked about his project called Le Rug, like French. But yeah, it is a sort of similar recording, songwriting style to this. But I don't know. I might say Brandon Can't Dance has refined it a little more. It's a little bit more hi-fi, lo-fi.
Yeah, I like it quite a bit. I'm going to make a bold statement that'll cause like most of our listeners to stop listening to the podcast, okay?
Better than the Beatles?
Not quite. Not quite. But I'm going to say Brandon Can't Dance is better than Car Seat Headrest.
You're so right. You're so right.
Oh, man, that's going to be... I don't know, though. Some people are just not going to be able to keep listening after that, right?
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. I think Bob Boylan would disagree. He's probably never listened to Brandon Can't Dance, though.
I seriously doubt it.
Come on, Bob. Listen to Brandon Can't Dance.
Come through, Bob.
Yeah.
Please.
Or just don't, because, we want to maintain our air of superiority over NPR.
Let us get all the glory 10 years from now.
Right. Yep.
When they review the podcast reviewers retrospectively.
Okay, so people should listen to that, I think.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to your first pick.
My first pick is Palberta.
I think you talked about Palberta maybe like a year or two ago on the podcast, because I remember the name, because it was like Alberta with a P on the front of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a really interesting album, because you gave me a preview of it, so I have been listening to it, for not a whole bunch of times, but a couple times. So that was good to get that advance notice.
Yeah.
So, but you're going to tell me and the listeners all about this. The album is called Bye Bye Berta.
Yeah. Well, I've been absorbing this one for at least like a month now, so I feel like I kind of understand it, and that leads me to want to play a song rather than explain anything further. So let's start with the track Sick.
That was not the whole track. We wouldn't want to get sued by Palberta, right?
That'd be bad news.
Yeah.
I bet.
But then maybe we would get famous, and so would they.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe we should contact them about that.
Yeah, conspire for them to sue us. Be like a sham lawsuit.
Yeah, that'd
just
be cool.
for publicity.
Could be fun.
Yeah.
So I think if you want true enjoyment out of this band, don't approach the vocals as lyrics. Think of them as like rhymes and chants and dialogue, because they have 3 singers that sing on like most of the songs. There's a bunch of like dynamics and back and forth, and like if you try to think about it as like a flowing thing where the song is like a narrative, you're just going to confuse yourself. But the words are really cool, and the way everything is organized is really awesome. But I think for most people, they won't be used to the vocals stylistically, especially the fact that they're like sort of more melodic, almost like nursery rhyme tier vocals paired with this like dissonant music. But I don't know, I think they've just clearly like crafted it into something that works really well together. If I was a music writer, I'd say it's idiosyncratic.
There you go.
That doesn't mean very much. So here's a good example of the vocals on the song "Finish My Bread."
Yeah, Palberta.
There you go. Now to contrast that, this is a 45-second math rock cut that's called Rabbiting.
That was the whole track. I did it. I just decided to be bold.
Yeah. If there's ever a context to play the whole track, that was it, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. So listening to this, and it's really typical of a lot of your picks. It's sort of challenging where you can't just pick up everything right away because it's not obvious progressions and melodies and stuff. But it really makes me think that this is the kind of band that would be great if I knew they were coming to play here in a month or something.
Oh, yeah.
And then I would listen to the album, like really delve into it, and then it would just be really great.
I bet.
Just to, because it takes a little work to get some of this stuff sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of depends on your musical orientation, but this is definitely an album where I've benefited from going back and listening to stuff over again and listening to it like out of order, that kind of thing. It's not a super linear album by any means.
So it doesn't have. So you wouldn't say that it's got like a flow where it sounds strategic, like the order that the tracks are in.
I think it's kind of strategic, but I think the tracks are really designed to just stand on their own. Like nothing like flows into anything else the way a lot of albums do, where it's like, and just kind of the melodies are all over the place. That I think if they really wanted, it would be hard to make it like so the songs with similar melodies and stuff are next to each other or something.
Yeah,
I don't know what other bands do when trying to make things sound cohesive, but
yeah. What do you know about these people? Like,
they're students at Bard College. At least two of the members are in several other bands, and one of them is Nina Reiser, who we talked about on here before.
Is she in this band?
Yeah.
Okay, so I remember talking about Nina Reiser. Yeah. So that's a comparison that, you wouldn't surprise me, because she's got kind of that free-form thing going.
Yeah, and I think she plays drums in this band a lot, but they all kind of like switch around on instruments because it's 2017, and that's what we do.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
No, you don't have to be constrained by one instrument.
Of course not.
Right.
Well, I have one more track.
All right.
Really like the first 10 seconds of it. The first time I listened to it, I was like, shit. It's a cool intro. So I'm hyping it up for you guys.
Okay.
It's called Why'd You Cry?
Why'd you cry? Why'd you cry? How you made tears tonight? You cry. Why'd you cry? 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 How you made tears tonight?
Palberta. The album is 20 songs and 28 minutes, which I think is cool.
Me too.
But there's one song that's almost 4 minutes long. That's like a bold statement by them. And then a bunch of 1 and 1.5 minute. Actually, a whole bunch of them are less than a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun.
I think that's all I got to say about Palberta. They're a cool band. Check them out.
All right.
100.
I'm going to destroy the vibe completely by playing a ridiculously poppy thing.
Cool.
But why not, right?
Yeah, why
The
not?
listeners can handle it, right?
They're mature enough. They've earned it.
I was talking to you about this the other day. This band that was sort of a band, kind of almost like a fake band called the Pipettes. Remember them?
Yes, I do.
And I think I said to you it was like 2010, but it was actually like 2006 or 7 or something.
Yeah. It was a while ago.
So basically, it was kind of the classic, we're going to form a 60s girl group. So we're going to find 3 women who can sing and are attractive enough to stand at the front of the stage and sing and dance, right? And then the band was totally in the background. I think they did live performances, and I thought I read that the band was actually behind a curtain, which I think is really funny. So
That's pretty funny.
and then so they had these 3 women, and one of them was a woman named Rose Elinor Dougall. I don't know if it's Dougall or Dougall, but I'm going to go with Dougall. And she has an album out now. So that was a little trivia thing that I thought was kind of fun. And it's kind of a catchy pop album. It's pretty poppy, but worth a listen, I think. It's called Stellular. So let's start with the first track, Color of Water. That's some slick pop for you from Rose Elinor Dougall.
Very slick.
Yeah, it's pretty slick, for better or for worse. So here's another one. It's called Take Yourself With You. It's Rose Elinor Dougall.
If someone had just told me there's a solo album by one of the members of the Pipettes, I would have assumed it sounded worse than this. I don't know what that says about me, but this is pretty cool. And also the intro on both the songs you've played so far, I like that they take time to build it up, and there's some cool just like random effects thrown in there that I think sound good. Studio tricks, maybe.
I think for a big production, it's pretty good. And I think one thing I like about it is that it kind of makes me think, like, if pop music, like really popular music, were more like this, I would like it more.
Yes, definitely. Me too.
Yeah. So, okay, let's play one more called Space to Be. Okay, I think that's a reasonable taste of the Rose Elinor Dougall album. So if you want some pop music in your life, throw that one on.
Yeah.
All right, now let's go back to the cutting edge and another Grant pick.
All right. This next artist is from California, but basically the West Coast. So much cross-pollination in those West Coast bands. It's an artist called Toner, and one thing I forgot until like 2 hours ago is that I've actually seen this band perform in Vancouver at a record store called Horses Records. And I don't remember that much of their set, but I remember generally liking it, and I would not be surprised if they played 2 or 3 songs off this LP that came out this year.
So they were planted in your brain, like
Yes.
way in the back of your
They're
brain.
subconsciously there,
Right.
way before I heard this album.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Just gonna play a track. Let's start with Shoot It Up.
That's Toner. So I was doing some music journalism while we played that. So they collaborated with a guy named Tony Molina on this album, and it seemed like a name I had heard before. I'm not even sure if
Did you talk about one of his albums on here?
I don't think so.
I remember listening to that album, Dissed and Dismissed.
Huh? By Tony Molina.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I probably heard about it from you, but who knows?
Yeah, I don't remember. Well, anyway, it looks like he's I don't know if we should call him an aging rocker, but he's a little bit older guy. He's been around for
He's
a while.
a veteran rocker.
Yeah, veteran. We should have different categories because, like, I feel totally comfortable calling myself and older aging rockers. But like, if somebody's like 40, I don't know if they're an aging rocker yet, or like 35, 40.
Yeah.
You got to be at least over 40 to be an aging rocker, I think, and maybe 50.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Sounds fair to me.
yeah, that's Toner.
Yeah.
It's rock and roll.
Now let's play BC Hope.
Oh,
That's Toner. The album is called Killing Pace.
Yeah.
It's got a cool sound.
The biggest comparison / influence is the band Weed. Those guys probably know each other. In their Bandcamp photo, Toner guy is wearing a Weed shirt.
Oh,
I was thinking of like comparisons in the music. Just their sound is really similar, and so they both sort of use a melancholy pop approach to melody, sort of like a hardcore approach to the song structure. They're not afraid to switch tempos and shit, and they don't really repeat stuff more than is absolutely necessary. And they both have a shoegaze approach to vocals where they mix them just like any other instrument. They're kind of ambient. You really sort of have to dig if you want to know the lyrics.
I also noticed that it has some of the sort of Canadian post-punky guitar style, but it's like with the volume turned up, right?
Totally.
It's like the intensity turned up. But it's cool. So do you have another track?
Yeah. If I wanted to show the variety on this album, I would play either Fader, which is sort of like a mellow shoegazy track, or Nothing I Can Say, which has acoustic on it. But screw variety.
Yeah.
I'm going to play track 3, Concentrator 2. Also sounds like the band Weed.
I did it again. That was
Full
the whole
track.
Yeah, whole song. I don't think Toner's going to sue us.
I don't think so.
No.
They seem pretty chill.
Yeah, so, well, the listeners didn't hear this, but there was a little behind-the-scenes thing during that, right?
Yeah.
So, about 15 seconds into that track, I was thinking to myself, that's cool. I need to buy this for Name Your Own Price. So I clicked on it and said, I'm paying $2 for this. And then you said to me, it's about to stop the music, because then it just went to the purchase page. Yeah, so I just paid $2 for that. So everybody else should pay $2 for it too, right?
Definitely.
Or more, or less if you want.
Yeah, but if you're cool, more.
I really like the concept of the Name Your Own Price, and I don't know, how well it actually works or whether I should like it or not, but it's just a cool thing. So
yeah.
Especially in the world now where you've got everything on streaming and, it recognizes a value. And like we were saying, like you just said to me, if you listen to something and you think it sounds cool, then why not pay $2? Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had one more thing, but I think I'm going to skip it because I have a big enough editing job. And that way the average band will be a little bit better because it wasn't my favorite thing.
Okay.
So
yeah.
I think we've covered a reasonable ground of good new music on this podcast.
Quality over quantity, I
yes.
suppose.
Yep. So sorry to the artist who didn't quite make the cut, but they don't know who they are, so it won't matter.
Yeah.
What people don't know won't hurt them, right? Isn't that
I don't know.
Like
you might get a
cliche?
bunch of inquiries like, "Hey, was it my band?" Because I've been wanting to be featured on this podcast for years.
Right. There are all these bands out there right now wondering, God, were we the ones who missed the cut? Oh, it's just like that fine line between absolute obscurity and superstardom, and we can put people on the other side of that line. Yeah. All right. Very good. Thanks, Grant. I'm really glad you could do this week and jump in on. Literally, you had like an hour notice.
Yeah.
But we did have,
Spontaneous.
we had Palberta kind of waiting in the wings, right? So, all right, that was good. So I think we're going to sign off and be back again next week with another edition of Will's Band of the Week. Good night.
Good night.
You can subscribe to the Will's Band of the Week podcast using iTunes or any other podcast app. All of our podcasts are also available directly on our webpage, willsband.net. You can contact us directly by email to willsband@yahoo.com, on our Facebook page, or on Twitter @willsband. The Will's Band of the Week podcast is brought to you every week from Fourth Bedroom Studios in Madison, Wisconsin. Our theme music was composed by Grant and performed by Grant and Will. Thanks for listening.